Hello everybody and welcome back to Shining Force. Hello again, little girl. And we will continue on. So last we left off, we got imprisoned, unfortunately. Normally, as you're going through this game, you have no idea what to do. You go through, you try to inspect everything, including that vase over there. I don't know why I always choose to inspect vases. They usually don't have anything. But you go through, search the bars. And then finally, Chris comes. The time has come to strike back at Runefast. I'm letting you out. Please help me save Alteron. I'll fight alongside you. I can heal too. And Chris joins the force. Finally, you have a really good healer. I like Gong. He's fantastic because he can do both healing and attacking. But Chris is far superior as a healer. And Lo just sucks. I just skipped that dialogue. There's a secret passage. Let's use it to escape. I think she said upstairs was dangerous. I'll be at the headquarters. Please be patient a little longer. I'll get you out of here soon. I wonder how Chris knew that there was a secret passage in here, though. Never really told. Even though I'm still in prison, I can still perform my duties. How can I help you? Yeah. And he doesn't escape with you. It's very weird. And very, very, very long path. I don't know why they made it that long. They really didn't need to. They could have just made it a quick, short path. And we're back at the headquarters. In fact, I actually don't think we went to the headquarters in this one. But you have your party here. So now, we have 10 members total. Good old water. But 10 members total, so we'll get another 2 more, and then we'll have to start worrying about actually replacing characters. It is hard to determine who's the first ones you get. Obviously, it's between Luke, Lo, Teo, Hans, and Ken. But I think unfortunately, I think Lo is the last one to go through and join you. But I'll have to take a look at the list and figure out who's technically the first one that speaks or the first one that's on there. I would hate to get rid of Teo first, really. She's one of my favorite mages, despite the fact she's probably the weakest. But yeah, I would hate to get rid of her. She's very, very useful, especially in this beginning. Let's see what we get here. If I didn't mention it before, you actually can get advice from this guy, Nova. And he can actually tell you some things you didn't know about it before, about the battle before. So it's always good, especially for a new person playing this, to actually talk to Nova. Now, I know these battles fairly well, so don't really need it from him, but it's interesting sometimes what he says. Just like this, I mean, mages and archers attack best from afar. Charge them quickly. Well, the problem we'll see in the battle here. And let's see here. Actually, I need to go through and rearrange some equipment. So I have a bunch of people with a bunch of equipment I also need to sell. And Chris needs experience, so I'm actually going to be transferring some medicinal herbs, or medical herbs, over to Chris, because she's going to run out of MP soon in those battles. Yeah, two will be enough for now. But once you step out here, you get the next one. Lowly worms, I shall crush you beneath my heel. Attack soldiers of Runefast. Lord Cain, Lord Darksol commands you to return to Runefast immediately. Tell him I'm on my way. Yes, sir. A shame I can't stay to watch you meet your doom. My troops can handle the likes of you. So far, that hasn't really worked out. I don't know how his plan, how he thinks his plan is going to go. But we have a lot of the same enemies that we've seen before that we were able to get rid of. So there's a bunch of dark dwarves. There's bats. I hate bats. You've got 4 different rune knights here. Again, nothing we haven't seen yet. But 2 new enemies. We've got our sniper over here. So he's actually got a decent amount of attack. for a ranged unit, you'll note that a lot of times your ranged units will have a lot lower of attack than your regular guys. But the enemy archers, when you first get them, will be devastating most of the time. In this case, it's not too bad. They're a little bit weaker than the Rune Knights, but in later cases, you're going to see that their attack just for some reason is way beyond the attack of everybody else. The arrow weapons are weird in how they build up their attack stat. But these guys are fairly easy to kill once you get up close to them. And then we have our Dark Mage. So not only do we have new archers, we have another ranged unit, the Dark Mage here, with Blaze. And they have Blaze 2. So you don't even have to face just the regular Blaze attack. It's the T formation is what we call it, attack. Which you'll start seeing me kind of change up my tactics because of that, actually spacing out my units. But it's not an unfair thing. The Dark Mage is not too terrible to kill. Pretty weak defense, low HP, and they'll never run out of MP, so you definitely want to try to take them out quickly. And they are the boss of this map. Alright, and then I can go into reviewing the character Chris. So Chris is your, third healer now that you get. Goes through and learns Aura, which is the best healing spell because it's an area healing. Learns Heal 4, and then I think with the spells, I think it's Quick that she ends up getting. And it is a she. At least I'm pretty sure. I have to go back to it, but it is a she. I forget what race this is. I think it's like either a horse or a llama type race. The races in Shining Forces are very weird. But yeah, it's a she. I think it's with all the dialogue, it's a she. But Chris, out of the defenses and everything, is fairly weak healer, but you never want her in the midst of battle anyway. You just want to have her in the back healing. Her MP is a little bit lower than Lowe's, based on the level, but she'll end up being far superior to Low in almost every single way, with the exception of maybe her MP pool a little bit and her HP pool just a little bit, but it's definitely worth the trade-off. And this, for this map, what I like to do is go through and split up my units. I usually take up half of them, go up towards this way, take on the bats and the Rune Knights, and then this way for the dwarves. And then you end up pincering the archers and the mage. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. I'm going to use my knights to go up the center here, and we'll probably bring Gong and Chris. There we go. Oh, and I didn't give my star ratings. I think I've forgotten to do that for Gong too. For Chris, rate is 4 out of 5 stars. Aura is just so good in this game that once you get it, you're not worried about getting any experience for your guys, because you start getting experience for everybody that you heal, at least up to 50 experience. And so sometimes, because you can start healing in an area, you'll end up getting 50 experience from healing like even 10 HP throughout all of your guys that are hurt. You just have to use the T formations appropriately. I'm going to send Teo up here just to try to hit those bats. So that's complete. It's huge to actually have Aura instead of heal. So 4 out of 5. She learns it all. She's a little bit weak, so that's why she's not 5 out of 5 for a healer. So you have to be very careful with her around, but otherwise, really good unit. Way better than Low. And you get her pretty early, which is very, very useful. Although she's slow when you get her. At this point in time with my guys, she's actually pretty well leveled. Getting a level 2 healer is not really that bad. But if you're going to go through and grind, you're going to notice that your healers are going to kind of fall behind everybody else. And here. So, the enemy AI in this battle, Do I want to bring Hans over here? Yeah, I'll bring him down in the lower section. The AI in this battle is very weird, so you're going to have them kind of roaming around. Shining Force AI is weird to begin with. They have their own plans most of the time. But what you'll end up noticing is that the mage and the archers are going to go down here, and then once you start coming up and fighting off these dark dwarves, they're going to run back up over here, and then you're going to be able to pincer them. So I don't know why they moved down. Now, if you charge on this end, they'll stay down there and then fight you over here, and really not moving from their spots, which is bizarre. You think they'd move around and try to kill you, but they don't. And the bats here are going to kind of rotate around and stay over here until you kind of move to about here, and then they'll start charging you. And these rune knights, they won't even charge you when you're fighting the bats over here. They're just going to stay put. So you'll see it kind of change around some too. So did I want? Yeah, I wanted Gong over here. Unfortunately, all of what the AI does actually ends up slowing you down, so that's kind of a pain. Let's see if I got Hans, Luke, and Gort down there. I've got a lot of fighters going up north, so you know what? I'm going to send Max over here. I'm going to try to keep him away from the heaviest of hitters. But this is actually the last battle of the chapter, so we'll go into a new chapter here. It's typical for Shining Force 1 to go ahead and end chapters after about 3 to 4 battles, depending on where you're at. Sometimes it changes based on how many travel battles you have instead of the main battles. As some encounters, I think, are really just made to have on the way. I really should check the range with low. That's alright. Give him some experience to heal. Alright, and I want to use May to go through and lure out the other giant bats. So we need to kill them. There we go. And I think again, even though I mentioned it, I forgot about it. I forgot to rate Gong, I think, on the last one. If I didn't, I think it's going to be the same for me. I count him as a 4-star. He can heal, he can fight. He's not really good at either, like particularly well. He's not going to be your strongest fighter. He's not going to be your best healer, but he's actually fairly good at them. He's going to be at least passable with either side. And his level ups can be weird. Sometimes you'll end up with a Gong that, by God, just gains a ton of attack and has no healing. Other times he'll just have a ton of MP and be able to heal everybody, and just have a little bit less of a magic set and won't be able to attack much. But most of the time, on average, he's okay at both. He can chip away at enemies. Oh, that's new. I haven't had them charge me like that before. Interesting. Then again, I think the AI is kind of... You know what? I think I've never sent Max down this way, so it may depend on Max. May or may not. We'll find out. But Gong can be... I've experienced him always doing well for me. Other people kind of would rate him lower. However, I think he's very useful right from the get-go. He's another healer, and he can attack, and he's the most survivable healer you're going to get. So that goes a long way when you can have a healer on the front line that you're not worried about babysitting. Here we go. And Mage just tanking all these attacks. And the worst effect in the game, sleep. I was hoping to avoid that. It's pretty hard to avoid that with the bats. It's the whole reason why I hate them so much. You don't... So the way that that sleep works in this game is, I think you fall asleep between like 2 to 6 rounds, maybe, or 1 to 6 rounds. It's very, very random. So whenever it does happen, you're either they immediately wake up and they're able to go their next turn, or I can have somebody asleep for almost 7 rounds, which I've had. Meaning that I've got one less attacker to attack all these bats with. And these Rune Knights, I really haven't seen them do this before. But I'm kind of getting lucky with them. I don't think... Well, Teo's actually in range, so this is actually going to be good. Move her over here, and we'll send a Blaze 2 over. So I don't think I've demonstrated a Blaze 2 yet, but very powerful. Very, very powerful. Love the way that magic works in this game. Have it completely set away from any type of other weaponry or any other regular combat. You have MP to use as your resources, and then it does a set amount of damage. And then some enemies might have slight resistance to it, or / bosses have resistance to it. Alright, can't quite heal yet, so I'll keep Chris over here. Oh, I didn't know Luke was hurt. Should have healed the blow, but that's okay. In this case, I may have to actually... oh, no! That's not good. That's really not good. Both of those guys hurt and sleeping. I've got nothing there. Okay. Since I can't heal, May's going to be able to survive for a little bit longer. I've got to use Gong to attack. And again, hey, there's 10 points right there. Gong, versatile. That just backs up my idea. If you can't heal, or if it'd be better for you to just kill things, use them to kill. Still useful. Unlike Hans is becoming less and less useful. Hey, she woke up. I think I missed that. Alright, so we're going to try to kill this one. I like to think that the spears end up hitting the bats better, but I don't think it actually happens. There we go. One less sleep guy. And he's going to go for Gong, okay. That's not too bad. I'll take it. We'll actually spend it. We need to get some levels on these guys. The next chapter is actually, I think, really one of the toughest that you end up going on. You'll see some of the maps are ridiculously hard because there's just a difficulty curve that just goes straight up on you, and you don't think it's going to come up on you. You don't think it's going to go that way because you look around at the enemies and it's not too bad, and then, well, we'll see later. It'll get bad. There's some strong guys there that have no business being in that chapter. We'll set Max over here. Okay. So we got that. I definitely want to save to have a Blaze 2 handy. So that's one of the things you have to worry about with your mages, is conserving your resources. Good job, Teo. Wow. But save your resources for your mages. You'll find that if you keep blasting them with your best spells, you'll run out of it very quickly. Okay. Yeah, when you heal, Ken. So you have to use the small spells a lot, or just not use your spells at all until you really need them. Which I tend to do the last part. What just happened? No! Well, that's not good. Oh. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Well, you know what? We're just going to go through this entire thing again. I'm not going to go through and re-record because I already explained a lot of different things. Not going to go through and explain it again. But I'll just try to quickly go through this. There we go. Okay. I may rearrange who I send where and be a little bit more careful because I think I got pretty lucky with some of my guys not dying when I sent them up the middle. So I'm gonna rearrange that. But that's very unfortunate that I think I just accidentally went through and clicked a button to reset everything. Unfortunately, this game plays kind of slow, so it's gonna seem like it takes a little bit here. I may make a shortcut here to kind of get in the same position, but we'll see. But I don't. Trying to think of what I can change here. So I think what I'm going to do is try to not send my knights so far forward, and kind of keep them back and play it just a little bit more slow. That tends to be the answer for trying to play through this game without having to aggress or anything. Just go through, play it slow, inch your guys forward, and you ends up being a lot better for you. So it's not very. You can have an aggressive play style, but you end up risking a ton when you do so. More so than I think in most games, because you don't have an enemy phase to really hurt the enemy on. You only have your own side, your own turns to work on. So you have to be very careful with it. Alrighty, so yeah, we'll still send Gong over here. We'll still send the same teams where they were. Now the bottom team, you can kind of rush forward and they're perfectly fine down there. Like I said, the mage and the archer kind of move up whenever they're in danger of the bottom group. But I did get lucky with a couple of crits there, so I don't think I'm going to have the same luck. The RNG will bless you and then take that blessing away very quickly. Yeah, I don't. Why do they run down and then run back up? Makes no sense. But they may be doing that all based on max, or hey, if you have guys going up north, that they will they'll base it off of that / what else you do on the bottom route. I don't know if they actually expect you to split up your troops or not, but I still find that it's pretty safe in this game to do so. Alright, so what I'm going to do is draw them forward just a little bit. I'm going to bring them. I'm going to use my knights as bait for those bats, because the one thing that I do want to have is my Blaze 2 on the bats as much as possible, since it doesn't miss. Yeah, man, those knights charging. So I'm doing a playthrough. As you can see, there's three save files here. The most recent one that I'm doing is a all magic / only Max here has his swords. Everybody else is weaponless, so I'm only using magic for everybody else. In that run, I did not see the knight charging forward. In fact, I didn't see the bats go down to the southern road either, and I went fully into the northern route. And usually, this type of plan is what I use, although I said max up to the north. So it's interesting seeing the AI play out just a little bit differently. Try to keep low out of danger here. So, I am curious what sets off the AI in this game. It's not clear cut, and I don't think a lot of people a lot of it's not really researched by the community. There's like some battles where people are interested in it, and then others that nobody cares, so they just don't put any effort into it, which is fine. You know, you want to look into the battles that are hard or interesting to see how you can work it to your advantage, especially for speedrunners. But in this case, it's just funky. And it's just interesting to know. Doesn't make it too difficult. Now, if all the knights charge, that would be a little bit more difficult, but really, it's only one or two that ends up doing it. I'll keep Hans over here. And that's a Blaze 2 formation. Fantastic. Don't sleep, don't sleep. There we go. And there's the other bat. Yeah. This is playing out very weird. Oh well, it's not bad though. The way that these bats behave is pretty normal though. They usually do charge you. I'm just used to having to fight all four on the main or the northern place. There we go. Get some healing in for low. Actually, because of where Ham's positioned, we'll move over here so he has room. Now, this is something that you do have to massively consider with this game versus a lot of others. With the random turns, you don't know when your guys are going to get turns. So you kind of have to plan for the future, but also, you know, plan the what-if scenario of what if your guy doesn't go next? What is he going to do? Try to take out this giant bat with Max here. There we go. So you go, hey, what if my guy goes and I can, you know, what do I need to do to kill this guy? Okay. And then you go, well, what if my guy doesn't go anywhere? What if all the enemies go before him? Well, they may die. Okay. You have to consider everything. Here's Dark Dwarfs. Alright. This isn't too bad, though. Just gotta hope to keep hitting these giant bats. I'm on a good roll here. I don't want to mess that up. Alright. Did anybody get hurt? Yeah, Ken's hurt. There we go. Plus, Chris looks way better than Lo. I like the animation and the art of Chris way better than Lo. Lo just kind of looks doofy. Alright, so the question is, yeah, I don't have a Blaze 2, so I think I want to kill that giant bat so we can take out these Dark Dwarfs. And Hans fails me again. I swear, archers end up being really good at the end. They just really suck on the way there. Until they get that 2-3 range weaponry, they really have a hard time. So we'll go through and equip the Bronze Lance, try to kill this giant bat. My northern group's doing great. Probably should have sent one more down to the south, but yeah, it's alright. There we go, Gong. Now we'll see if he ends up being an awesome attacker, or if he's going to kind of go the middle ground. is in my last playthrough, the last one I'm doing, he ends up getting a ton of attack, just where I needed him, for my no weapons. So he's actually either on par or a little bit ahead of Xylo, which is awesome. You don't usually get that with Gort. Or Gong, not Gort, Gong. I looked down at Gort and was like, oh yeah, him. No. Alright. See if we can kill this giant bat. Come on. There we go. Good. The most annoying part's done. Ooh. Attack +3. Defense. Speed. Hit points by 3. And magic points that don't matter. I hate that happens in this game. You don't need magic points for your leader. He should not have any type of growth in there, because it really does not matter. Yeah, well, you know what, we'll keep Taya over here just so she's out of range of that knight, and we'll finish him off. There's nobody specific in that group that needs a ton more experience. And heal up Luke. At least some experience for low. Yeah. I think I hate the hat most on low. His hat just looks terrible. The hat that all the kids are making fun of in school. And here we go. Good job, Chris. It'll take a little bit for her to start gaining levels. She just needs to have a little bit more MP so you can keep casting spells. Here, Gort. It's gonna be sad seeing some of these guys go through and get traded out. I do like the initial team that you get besides low. I like a lot of them. You have them for a long time, they grow, they're always very useful. There's not a single character in here that you can't use, but some of them are a lot more useful than others, and most of these guys are really useful. So it'll be sad to see them go. Hey, we'll get the first strike on this guy. Good. Maybe have him preoccupied with May with her awesome defense. Yep, there we go. Most of the time, if you have an enemy right next to, or one of you guys right next to the enemy, they are very likely to attack them, rather than try to charge, even to hit a weaker guy. Most of the time, they'll attack somebody right next to them. So you can kind of mess with the AI that way. Use Gong to heal. Use the experience here. But yeah, this is actually going fairly well. It's not too bad. Still have a little bit more to go. Still gotta kill that bat. And then the mage will hurt. And same thing with us archers, so we do have to be careful around them. Gotta get in there real quick. Probably charge them with the knights. And then mop up with whoever else. One reason why I charge them with the knights is they can stay out of their attack range and then move forward. Although again, they don't really move too much, so it's not as big of a deal as you'd think it'd be. And Luke finally took out the bat. Good. And he gained a level. Well, at least that was worth it. It's an okay level up. It's kind of hard to judge what's a decent level up and what's not in this game. Because some levels, they just decide not to gain anything. Like Hans. Oh, Hans. Here we go. So only got a couple of the knights left. Yeah, and she's out of MP. Oh, I didn't give her anything in this time. I forgot about that. Oh well. I only got a couple of knights left. And the main three, and I think those two Dark Dwarves. It's not too bad. Just defense just increased by 4. Yep. That's awesome. So 13 defense. She's not going to be taking almost any damage against these guys, which is great. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, it's not a usual thing. Go through and give my medicinal herb over to Chris. She'll need it more than Gong. Alright, so... I'll play it... no, you know what? We're going to go through an attack. I'm going to play a little bit more aggressive this time. There we go. And you're going to see Max peter off a little bit, so... Got to be a little bit cautious later on with him, but right now he's actually doing pretty well. He only has an attack advantage on my guys for a little bit longer with his middle sword. Soon everybody will have them, and then he's not going to be the powerhouse character in comparison to my other warriors. Go through, equip here. Good job, Ken. We'll go through and use Gort to finish off this guy so he can gain the experience. There we go. Should be leveling up soon too. I got him last map, and I think I got a pretty good use out of him. Yep, very close. Is there anybody else? See if anybody else is hurting. Nobody? Okay, just move up then. Yeah, see? Sometimes the AI, they just do unexpected things, like not move. Here's many of these. This is why I like knights. Later on, they're not your most powerful characters. They're not your most defensive, and you're not your most offensive, but they move very far, and they still pack quite a punch, and can take some hits. Ken's defense is too low, but they can still take some hits. So they're very, very useful. Here we go. Yeah, stop feeding Max some of these kills. Make sure he spreads them around. Alright, and Ken should be able to take this guy out. Perfect. Now, what do I want to do? Yeah, I'll send Gord up here and try to take out this sniper. Shouldn't have to worry about too much. Ah, lackluster level up. That's okay. See if Hans can finish him out. The unfortunate part is I did move these guys close to each other, so they are vulnerable to a Blaze 2 from that mage. But that's okay. They can take that hit, and pretty sure they can survive. If they don't, well, that's very unfortunate, but it's not going to be too bad. I can always heal up Max and then use him to kill him. Use Teo here. And more MP for her. Awesome. Low. Can't quite get there. I needed him to heal up Max. Oh, don't want to do that. Don't want to entice them anymore. Alright, and this is the best part about a healer. You gain experience using medical herbs. So you just load them up, and they'll keep gaining all their experience. Even if they're healing 1 point. It's awesome. See if we can damage the sniper a little bit. They're probably going a tinking match together. Sniper's not going to do too much, though. There, I got to separate. Now the Dark Mage is in trouble. Hey, Hans, you gained something. And that's the last of his no gain or little gain level ups. That doesn't mean he'll be getting a ton of attack, but he'll at least get some things. There we go. We're beating the snot out of these guys. I'll hold back just a little bit. Even if it has a guy get killed. There we go. Damaging, but not too bad. I want to kill that archer, if possible. Get that experience before we finish off the map. Okay. Yeah, well, we're still gonna wait here. Now, if I remember correct, yeah. So, Gong can gain some experience healing, and same thing with Chris over there. As long as their turn comes up. Chris is not going to gain a level on this one, though. She's pretty far behind. It is going to be a little bit difficult getting her there. Without any type of grinding, at least. But she'll be around. She'll still be useful. Hey look, Lo, you did something. Hey, you increased level 3. Gain some NP. Now, on a speedrun type thing, he may actually be very useful. Just because of his MP, and because you have him right off the bat. Nope, nope, nope. Why did I do that with Chris? I meant to heal Ken. Oh well. That was a little bit of a waste. I think I was just trying to charge my guys up forward and completely forgot what I was doing. That's okay. I'm in finish the map mode. And there goes Hans. That's alright. One casualty out of this is actually pretty good for a Shining Force game. Usually out of the harder battles, you'll end up with, maybe half your guys. Sometimes you'll end up with just like 1 or 2 living. There we go. Max, there's no time to lose. Cain must be found and stopped at all costs. Find out all you can and be sure to talk to King of Alterone. And here we go. The town is back to normal. Thank you for getting rid of that evil Cain person. Really, he just kind of left. We didn't have anything to do with it, but we'll take it. Perhaps in Manarina, they'll know how to deal with Cain. Yeah, Manarina. You were... Okay, lady, I need you to move. I need to sell some stuff and then buy some medical herbs. Come on. Come on. No. Other way down. There we go. That can actually... Oh, he sells weapons. Well, I'll be able to sell some weapons here. It's one of the most annoying parts about the... Oh, everybody does have the middle sword. Forgot about that. About the villagers out here. They sometimes can block your way to actual important stuff. So you have to be careful about that. Why does the arrow sell for so much? And why couldn't they just give me the gold? I'm using that arrow for nothing else. I'm really surprised by some of the things that they have you get in this game. Here we go. Buy some medical herbs. Give them over to Chris. I might as well sell her staff too. You get really used to how everything works after playing this game for a little bit. When you want to press another type of button or anything like that, or how it always resets the first item when you're trying to buy. So if you're trying to buy a healing seed, you have to keep pressing over every single time, which is kind of annoying. But I think they changed that in Shining Force 2. Anyways, back to the castle. Yeah, it is a she. Chris is going with you? I'll hold you responsible if she gets hurt. Watching you fight is inspiring. No more sitting around all day for me. So now everybody wants to fight after you showed them how to fight. It's great. Max, I wasn't myself. Cain has some power over me. Can you forgive me? We'll go douchebag route. Alas, you're right. What I did was unforgivable. Yeah, we'll say yes. So if you in this game, it gives you a bunch of gives you options to say no to things, and most of the time, if you say no, they kind of basically either say, "Oh, okay," and then kind of leave you alone, or they say, "No, screw you. I'm not going to tell you anything," and then you have to kind of figure stuff out on your own. This is what he tells you if you actually say yes. Goes through and search Dragon Head to reveal a secret passage. So if you knew about it already, you could actually do it after talking to him. Yep. Gonna go through and pull that chain. And a lot of times, it won't let you continue on until you say yes. So, you can be a douchebag, but you'd start learning that doesn't get you anywhere. Alright, and we'll continue to this door. The legacy of the ancients. The door, the key. What can it all mean? No matter what the cost, the mystery must be solved, and Runefaust's plans foiled. Chapter 1, Runefaust Invasion. End. That is the end of Chapter 1. And we'll go through and save. And next time, we'll be going through and playing Chapter 2. I won't be reading this, because we'll just start that off the next time. Anyways, thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure to come and play again. I know it's been a while since I last uploaded. I'm going to try to upload on a weekly basis, but we'll see how that works out. Anyways, my name's Magnus. Thank you for joining.